Okay. So here I'm going to trying to explain to you how this guy got into office. He's got a catchphrase, "Make America Great Again." That's what it is. It's the same way Barack Obama got into office with "Yes, we can," with his catchphrase, "Yes, we can," because it's like the jihad thing. It's the thought that creates a point. From that point, it explodes outward. If you look here, let's look at what's going on here. Here they always kept showing you this frog. His name is Pepe. I had to do a bunch of digging, and this isn't the stuff that I wasn't going to tell you. But so here he is, and immediately this thing was associated with white supremacy. It has nothing to do with that. It goes back to this dude out of Egypt called Kek. That's who this Pepe is. Kek is the same thing that Baal is. It's the creative power of it, not the destructive power of it. And so, like I said, Hillary was the bitch, right? She was the whore, and he's Baal. This is the way it is. So he's the beginning of the cycle. She's the end. But at the beginning of the cycle, where this word memes or mems, whatever, however you pronounce it, that's the thought, the word that makes creation. So I'll get to this in a minute. Keck was also represented obscurity and the unknown and thus chaos. For them, not for us, for them. What I mean by that is the establishment that's here. The one that's fighting so hard to hang on, it's fallen apart because people's minds are now focused. The name of the frog is Pepe. That means a point emerging, probably entering, which means it's a thought that. Okay, have you heard of the Trump train? Okay, the Trump train. Let me see if I can find it. Hang on. It's freaking cold. See the picture of the Trump train right there? You see how it says unstoppable? It's because this train represents, you see the nuclear sign on it? It's a big bang. The point emerging. In other words, the idea of the words "Make America Great Again" created in a mass amount of people a point of light. That point of light is emerging, it's exploding. That is what's killing Hillary Clinton and all of her ilk. Okay, so we look. Here's what Hillary was aligned with. Moloch. Remember from her emails? She's going to sacrifice a chicken to Moloch. Gains power through child sacrifice. Can't properly possess a 70-year-old lady, which would have been Hillary. Can't time travel. Okay, which means it can't time travel. The words that she was dealing with her meme or what her thought was doesn't transcend into this time. Teaming up with elitists requires semen, blood, and rituals to summon. Remember the spirit cooking? That was all this type of, we'll just call it magic. This was her type of magic. Kek, which is this dude here, okay? Which is the word, the phrase, "Make America Great Again." Gains power from spicy memes. Made Trump's deplorables, that's what the TD is, the #1 subreddit. Okay? A friend to the everyday people. That's exactly what Trump is explaining to be. Literally summoned by accident. Because it was summoned by accident because people got sick of the way things are. And the phrase "Make America Great Again" was put in there, but gained steam and became a point of focus for everybody. Let's look at a word. Meme magic is a slang used to describe the hypothetical power of sorcery and voodoo, supposedly derived from certain internet memes that can transcend the realm of cyberspace and create real-life consequences. And I believe that. Baal, this is the Saturnian good guy. Okay? This is the bad part of it. This is the bad part of it that the Jews like. Okay? If you go back into Genesis or Exodus, biblically, where Moses goes in and says, "Let my people go," uh, what happens is um, the story is that Moses creates a bunch of frogs, not the plague, just frogs in the court where the Pharaoh is, and then the Pharaoh said, "Well, I can do that shit too," and then he had his guys come out and make frogs. Well, if the frogs were really memes, then they were battling with words. Okay? The point that I guess I'm trying to make is that this is why Hillary and her group are so frantic to hang on, because they're being destroyed literally, because people are waking up from being asleep. Maybe not in the same way that you and I are, because we've been looking at this stuff in a different way, but they're waking up to the fact that you can create change by thought and by action. Here's this keck. This is not a white supremacy thing at all. They grabbed it because they tried to tie white supremacy to it to make it look bad. It's really two different sides of the same critter, which is the Saturnian thing. It's like if I had to split this would be Lucifer, this would be Satan. They're the same thing but two different sides. Then you got the flip side of it, which would be the two women. You'd have the whore and you'd have the virgin. You kind of get what I'm saying there? This thing has been around forever. And so in the beginning was the Word, and the Word in the beginning was God, or in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. So it was the point of emerging of thought and consciousness. I don't want to sound new age because I don't go for that shit, but there's reality to the way all of this stuff that people say is tied into the computer. And so even going back all the way into Egypt, they understood that, and this is what I'm telling you guys about the jihad. They're creating disasters with their head. Hence, let me just get it, just so I can list. Hence, the National Commission on Terrorist Attacks upon the United States. The 9/11 attacks of the World Trade Center and Pentagon were far more elaborate. The policy challenges were linked to the failure of imagination. It's failure of imagination. It's got to do with the whole jihad thing. So this is like the good Saturn guy. This is like the bad Saturn guy. Now let me show you something else here. If we look here, and Baal would result in an increase in one's flocks, fields, and family. What's it say here? A friend to the everyday people, Baal would result in an increase in one's flocks, fields, and family. This thing, what's going on with Trump here, can be a tremendous, great, wonderful thing, as long as people keep control of it. If they don't keep control of it, it can go haywire and wind up being very, very bad, because even though it's chaos, the chaos can be controlled in a manner that will form something really, really good. Oh, it's for Hillary Clinton and her geeks. This is chaos of the most destructive sort, because she's done. In other words, look here. Look here. A new era. Tell me if this isn't fitting. Hillary loses control of net narrative. In other words, she was no longer controlling the story. But the best part about this is it's by the Daily Bell, which is who? is bail. Hillary Clinton lost. See, this is what I mean about stuff not, I'm working on another level and not this one. That this reality is really overlaying another reality. This is what I'm trying to show you here. She lost the control of the narrative. In other words, she lost control of the story. She lost control of everything that was going on. And when it spiraled out of control, they were grasping at everything, trying to figure out what the fuck went wrong so that they could stop him from taking the presidency. But he was brought into the presidency by accident, kind of. And the whole, because this symbol, this is the whole reptilian thing. This is not white supremacy. It can become that if people let it. So whoever the assholes are that are trying to inject that this represents white supremacy is trying to take the energy of the chaos that could be used for good and try and morph it into something evil. Do you see what I mean? Which in effect would really work for Hillary Clinton because it would make Trump look like he's a white supremacist. That's where all of that came from. This thing has nothing to do with white anything. If it has anything to do with anything, it's chaos and it's black. Out of the point of light that comes out of the chaos, the creation of thought or the had is what creates reality. And you can create a wonderful fucking thing from it, or you can create a fucking monster. Do you understand? I'm pretty sure I'm all over the board here, and I probably lost half of you. But do you get it? Pepe the Frog has nothing to do with Nazism. They're interjecting the beginning of a new cycle, which is what this is, right? And the death of the old one. That's why Hillary's losing control of the narrative. And they're throwing that in there because they're trying to start the new cycle. How can I put it? It's like they're trying to take the end of the other cycle and trying to put it in at the beginning of this one, so it's a complete disaster. Donald Trump is not a white supremacist. It's the word that they're trying to associate a meme, so that this thing morphs into something hideous. If people keep their minds focused and stay positive and do work towards making America a wonderful place, it'll happen. As soon as you get off of that, it's gone. The reason it's called a Trump train is because it's a point of light, and it's like you're looking down the tracks, and you're standing on the train tracks at night, and way in the distance, you see a little point of light. But as you stand there, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's coming faster and faster and faster. Hence, again, it's like I told you guys, it's like a big fuck job. It's like it's picking up steam. It's like a sexual act that's moving towards an orgasm. And then when you have the moment of orgasm, you have a big explosion, and so it becomes reality. It appears right now that we're moving towards creating a fucking reality. And if we don't stay on track, this thing's going to explode into something. Donald Trump said this before, remember? If you remember, when he was going up on stage, he said, I saw this place going to hell, and I had to do something. So what he's done is he's tried to take that and turn that around, and instead of Hillary Clinton dragging us down, he's trying to create a world, a barrier. The wall that he's talking about ain't between us and Mexico. It's between us and the rest of a disaster. That's the wall. The wall between us and hell, literally. And once you understand that he's building a wall between us and hell, then you'll understand, I think, what it means when they say saved by the bell.